Did you know that Vlad the Impaler, also known as Dracula, yes, that's Dracula, had a fantastic palate? When he wasn't busy chopping off men's heads and putting them on spikes, he would eat this delicious Balkan flatbread called Lepinja. He was rumored to have forced the wives and daughters of the surviving men, or quite frankly of even the dead men, to bake this Lepinja for him. And if that Lepinja was not baked exactly right, he would impale them too, if you catch my drift.
What you're going to do first is you're going to make sure that you have 470 grams of lukewarm water. Make sure it is lukewarm. Put in about 7 grams of yeast and 14 grams of sugar. Make sure you mix it all together and leave it for approximately 10 minutes. After that, put in 25 grams of olive oil and a big tablespoon of Balkan yogurt. This will help with the fermentation. As always, mix and leave it for another 10 minutes. Very important. After that, what you're going to do is you're going to put 660 grams of white flour. And here I put in a little bit too much, so I had to take it out. You're going to make a hole in the middle, and once that hole is established, you are going to put in approximately 14 grams of salt. Sea salt, preferably from the Mediterranean. Dracula did not like any other type of salt other than the one from the Mediterranean. After approximately 10 minutes that you left the flour on top and the salt on top, you are going to then sift everything directly into the wet ingredients, just like this. Once that has been accomplished, then you are going to prepare for mixy time. Put it in a nice little blender. Back in the day, they did not have a mixer, so they used their hands. Now, I am not joking. You are going to be mixing this for about 15 to 30 minutes. You cannot overmix this dough. So the longer, the better. The dough, as you see on your screen, will start to stick to the side of your mixer here. That is a very, very good thing. That is what we are looking for. You can see here that it is sticking at the bottom. This is what you want. Eventually, you will get the dough to look like this. If it is a little bit sticky on your fingers, make sure that you check it after about 15 to 30 minutes of mixing. This is an excellent sign. Slap it around a little bit. That's what Dracula enjoyed. And then you're going to cover it and leave it for approximately 1 hour to rise. After that, you are then going to take out the dough. As you can see here, it is beautiful, absolutely fantastic. You're going to take it out with a spatula, nice and easy all the way down. You're going to notice a lot of air bubbles in it. This is a fantastic, fantastic sign that you are creating the perfect lepinja dough. Sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. And you are going to cut it in approximately 8 pieces. So you're going to cut it in half, starting first, and then you're going to cut it into quarters. Once your quarters have been established, you are then going to cut it into eighths. What I'm doing here is I am flattening out the lepinja bread by just gently covering it with flour and then stretching it out from the sides and avoiding touching the middle as much as I can. Do not worry about this part if your lepinja does not look perfectly round. It is not supposed to. We will fix this during the second rise. There will be 2 rises, and it is very important that you do both rises. Here's a little trick for you. If you are ruining your dough, it's not a problem. Squish it, roll it up into a ball, and let it rise from the beginning. It will recreate its bubbles for you. As you can see, not every lepinja here is perfectly round, and this is not a problem. Vlad the Impaler was a very forgiving man. Well, he was forgiving as long as the final product turned out perfectly fine. How you got to the final product, that is forgivable. But as long as you make it right, it will be fine at the very end. As you can see here, this particular dough was not working with me, so I had to squish it out, roll it into a ball, and flip it around. Once that's done, this is what it will look like after the first rise. You are then going to take them up individually. It might stick to the pan a little bit. That's fine. You're just going to peel it right off, and you're going to let gravity do the work. With my fingers, I'm going around on the sides, and I'm not really touching the center. This is the trick to the perfect lepinja. Try to avoid touching the center and just stretch from the sides. Let it rest for an hour for another second rise. As you see here, after the second rise, they are much, much fluffier, much better. Even the ones that I squished have come back up. Then you're going to put a dollop of Balkan yogurt on top, and you're going to spread the yogurt around. Now, this was Dracula's preference, but you can also do olive oil. That is also okay. Spread the yogurt all the way around. It will give it an extra bit of flavor and will also give it that wonderful, beautiful golden color when it comes out of the oven. Just make sure that you have hit absolutely all of the sides with either your olive oil or your Balkan yogurt. Here I am taking some sesame seeds and I am sprinkling it on top to just give it that wonderful final finished look. You can do black sesame seeds or you can do regular normal sesame seeds. It is completely up to you and up to your preferred taste style. However, Dracula was very particular not having black sesame seeds for historical purposes. That being said, I've sprinkled them all here. This is my dog, and we go forward into the baking process. As always, it is customary to do a little dance. This is what they look like up close, and this is what they should look like should you decide to do sesame seeds. This is what they look like with olive oil. Feel free to drench your lepinja here. You cannot possibly do too much. And once they are out of the oven at approximately 480 degrees for 12 minutes, they look fantastic and stunning. Dracula would be very, very proud of you, and he might not even impale you.
And that, my friends, is the perfect way to make the perfect lepinja. You can freeze it, it will last you for about 3 or 4 months, and if you do it just right, you won't get impaled. And remember, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy your homemade lepinja bread.